Hey everyone, welcome to the beautiful Enchanted Princess. Today we're going to be doing a quick tour of all of the public areas of the ship. I'm super excited to show you around, show you some of my favorite spaces. This is a great ship. So let's get started. All right, starting off on deck 19, we have the Greens Mini Golf. This is really the only thing on deck 19. It's not a big golf course, but it does offer you some beautiful panoramic views of the ocean around you. It is nearly 360 degrees that you can see from the mini golf course, so I definitely recommend going up there for that. Heading down to 18, we have Center Court, which is on the sky deck. This is the sports court. There are a lot of the sports activities happening there. You can play basketball. And then heading outside, you have the jogging track. This was surprisingly busy when I was up here, so there are some clip outs of me passing other passengers. As you can see, there's a lot of artwork that is around the jogging track. Little places to stop and take a selfie that have a hashtag built in, and some representations of the Princess logo. As usual, the jogging track is one of the best places to go to get some amazing views while you're in port, or if you're really interested in looking out while you're sailing. You really can't beat the views from up here. Next up, we have Movies Under the Stars, both up here on 18 and down on the Lido deck. These are set up during movies with blankets and pillows so you can get cozy to watch the movie. And heading into the sanctuary. I wasn't able to go in. This is a pay-only area where it's adults only. There's some great views. It looked beautiful, but I was only able to get the outside of this one. But you have the whole retreat pool area. So you do have loungers down by the pool, and then up top you have some cabanas. This is an adults only area, so while there weren't a lot of kids on board, these pools were kids free. Also down on the pool area, you have a bar, so you are able to get a drink and have it poolside back here. And these are some of the cabanas that I was talking about. Great quiet areas to sit and read, catch some sun, and the views over here are amazing. Next up, we have the youth activities. Camp Discovery and the Beach House are both down that hallway. This is located right outside the sanctuary. Also on deck 17 is the fitness center. This is a fully equipped gym. It is quite long and has different areas, one for yoga or other classes that might not use machinery. But then you do have your standard treadmills and ellipticals. And then, of course, you have the weights area. And this is all just one straight line down one side of the ship. It's a really interesting setup. Next up is the photo studio. This was really tucked away, but it's an interesting place to have that. I wasn't able to go in, but yeah, it's on deck 17. And then we have the Wakeview smoking area. I was kind of disappointed that this was one of the smoking areas because it has such a beautiful view and was not very crowded. So I would have loved to hang out there, but it was very smoky. Heading down to 16, we have the World Fresh Marketplace. I really like the way that the buffet is set up on this ship. It is, instead of being like a giant U, there are different sections that connect from one side of the ship to the other. So there weren't as many traffic jams of people holding up people trying to get to seats as they were getting food. It really did help with crowd control, the way that this was set up. It did take a little bit of getting used to since it wasn't set up the way that a lot of other ships are. However, it was really fantastic because I didn't feel like I was fighting people getting their food to just find a seat. And then as you head out of the buffet, you do have this nice little seating area that leads directly into the Wakeview area. This is where I ate most of the time that I ate at the buffet. It was a really quiet space. I even just came up here to read a few times. I really loved that this was here. Definitely check it out. Moving on to the Wakeview pool. This is not a large pool, and it did get crowded on sea days a couple of times, but this tended to be a very quiet and tranquil area. There weren't kids back here a whole lot. It did tend to just be people kind of with their feet in the water or leaning up, looking over the glass, because that view is gorgeous. And of course, there is the Wakeview bar. This did tend to be a very busy bar as it serviced both the Wakeview pool area and the seating area that I showed you earlier for the buffet. Moving on, we have Swirl's Ice Cream. It's just that little area there where someone sat and got you soft serve. And then we have the Seaview bar. This is one of the two bars that are directly on the Lido deck. This one was closest to the buffet. Running down either side of the ship, you have the Sea Walk. This is that transparent window that looks down over the ocean and the lower decks. It is really pretty. And yeah, I hung out by it a lot. All right, and then of course the pool deck wouldn't be complete without the pool. This is the Skyview pool. A lot of the activities happened up here. And you can just see this is a beautiful, well thought out open area. It was always very tranquil. If there were kids though, those were the pools that they were in. But yeah, it wasn't too crowded. And of course we have Alfredo Slice. They have some great pizza here. Alfredo Slice, the Mix Bar, and the Salty Dog, which is next up here, are all real close together. The Mix Bar is very busy. There's the Salty Dog for you. Those three are right in a line opposite the buffet. The Salty Dog was definitely the most crowded of the two food places, but the Mix Bar was also a pretty popular spot. On 14, you have the Wedding Chapel and the Concierge Lounge. The Concierge Lounge is for suite guests. I was not able to get into either of those places to film. And then you have on deck 8 the self-serve laundry. There are a couple of self-serve laundry places. They all look like this, so I just used the deck 8 one. And then we head down to deck 7, the promenade. First up, we have the Vista Lounge. This is where karaoke happened. It was where comedians happened, and when they were showing movies inside, they were here. It, of course, has its own bar. Heading out, we have the Crown Grill and Bar. This was an entire hallway set up for the restaurant and the bar attached to it. Also on deck 7, we have Princess Live. This is directly in the middle of the ship. This is a very popular area. It's where all the game shows happen. It's where the talks with the crew happen. A lot goes on here, trivia, everything else. And it also, of course, has its own bar for you to be able to get drinks while you are watching a game show. Karaoke also happened here. So this was really a central point of the ship. Right across from the bar, you have Oceanfront. This is where you can buy all things related to your medallion or get help with your medallion if there is something going wrong. And then moving out, right outside of that, you have Gigi's Pizza. In the stairway here, we have Bellini's, which is a bar. This is actually where I stopped when I first got on the ship to sit and do my muster drill. And right across from Gigi's, you have Sabatini's, which is the Italian restaurant. I absolutely love the setup of Sabatini's. I think this is such a beautiful area. And then heading over next to that, we have the shops of Princess. This will lead you into where you get on the 7th floor entry for the theater. It's a nice little area. It's one of 2 shops area. Heading down to deck 6, we have future cruise planning. And then of course, the fine art gallery, which happens to be right next door to the photo gallery. This is a nice open area for the photo gallery. I actually really liked its placement and really easy to order photos using touch screens. You don't have to actually talk to anyone. Next up, we have the Crooner's Bar. This takes up a good portion of this side of the ship. So here is where the actual bar is. And then a full view of the seating area. And this is Ocean Terrace, where they have sushi. And then the other set of shops I mentioned earlier are right behind Ocean Terrace and next to where the photo gallery is. Take 5 is a little annex of the casino, but it is also where any of the elite members can get their priority tenders or has their own personal little lounge on some evenings. All of that happens here. It's quite a beautiful little area and I love the seating in there. It is non-smoking. And then we head into the Princess Casino. This is laid out a little strange. It's kind of like an L. I am doing a walkthrough here and I am sorry it's a little Mad Maxy seeming. But as you can see, the layout doesn't really lend itself to just standing and getting a picture. It was kind of a walkthrough necessary to show you what it looks like. And then we have the Churchill's Arcade. This is a small arcade. There was no one in here most of the time, and there is no skee ball. And then rounding out deck 6, we have Princess Theater. As I mentioned, you could get into it from deck 7, but it is a good sized theater. The technology is amazing in here, and it's just a really beautiful space. Directly down from the theater, you have the Lotus Spa. I didn't have any treatments or anything, so I wasn't able to go in, but it is right outside of where the excursion desk and guest services is. So this actually is to the right of that door that you saw in the previous area. And then across the room from this, directly, you have guest services. I really love the design of this room. It didn't get super crowded down here, and I just think that the little design touches are beautiful. Right off of that, you have the Catch by Rudy. Inside of the Catch is also the 360 experience area. This was one of the few restaurants that had a door on it, and that they kept it shut a lot of the time, but it really is a beautiful restaurant. And then we are heading to the International Cafe. This was one of the areas to get specialty coffee, desserts. They had snacks all day. A lot of it is included food, but some of it would be an additional fee depending on which package you had. This is Good Spirits at Sea. This is the bar that is off of the piazza. And this is where they do the cocktail classes. And then here's a view of the piazza from where the panoramic lifts are, and then of course looking at the panoramic lifts from the piazza bar. Just such a beautiful area in here. I really love this ship. And then tucked behind the piazza is the Internet Cafe. And then we have Celebrations, which is like the sweet shop. It's right next to the gelateria. This is where you can use your premium dessert credits if you are Princess Plus or Princess Premier. Then rounding out the piazza, we have O'Malley's, where the infamous Pirate Queen shows up. I love the design of this area. It's so on theme. I obviously spent a lot of time here. And then you have Santorini Dining Room. There are 2 other dining rooms on board that are really tucked away. And that wraps up our ship tour. If you enjoyed this tour or any of the videos on our channel, I would please ask that you like and subscribe. It does help us out. All right, have a great day. I'll see you next time.